Lynchburg, Virginia. A quiet afternoon turns into something unforgettable. Two brothers laugh as they wrestle in the dirt, pushing, shoving, until suddenly, it goes too far. A single moment. A fall. A body that doesn't move. Young Desmond Doss stands frozen, fear gripping his chest. The laughter is gone. In its place, a terrifying silence. That moment burns itself into his soul, shaping a belief that will define his entire life: thou shalt not kill. Raised in a strict religious household, Desmond grows into a man guided not by violence, but by faith. Years later, that faith leads him down an unexpected path. One day, he carries an injured man through the streets to a hospital. It's there he meets Dorothy Schutte. Their connection is immediate, quiet but powerful. In her presence, Desmond opens up about his desire not to take lives, but to save them. About becoming a medic. Then, history changes everything. The attack on Pearl Harbor pulls the United States into World War II. The world demands soldiers. Desmond answers, but not with a weapon. He enlists in the United States Army as a combat medic. At home, his father, Tom Doss, a broken veteran of World War I, cannot understand. War has already taken too much from him. Now it's taking his son. Before leaving, Desmond and Dorothy make a promise to each other. They get engaged, holding on to love as the world prepares for destruction. Basic training begins. Desmond is assigned to the 77th Infantry Division under the harsh command of Sergeant Howell. Physically, he excels. He runs harder, climbs faster, refuses to quit. But there's one thing he will not do. He will not touch a rifle. The other soldiers don't understand. To them, he's a coward. A liability. A joke. His refusal to train on Saturdays, his Sabbath, only makes things worse. His superiors, including Captain Glover, try to get rid of him. They label him unstable. Weak. They push him to the breaking point with impossible tasks. But Desmond doesn't break. One night, the frustration of the other soldiers boils over. They beat him brutally in the darkness. The next morning, bruised and battered, he is asked to name his attackers. He refuses. And in that silence, something changes. Respect begins to grow. Training ends. The men are granted leave. Desmond plans to marry Dorothy, but his refusal to carry a weapon catches up with him. He is arrested for insubordination. In a cold military jail, he faces pressure from all sides. Captain Glover and Dorothy plead with him, just admit guilt, compromise, walk free. But Desmond refuses to betray his beliefs. At his court-martial, he stands alone. Guilty. The sentence is moments away, until the doors burst open. His father storms in, holding a letter from a powerful ally, a brigadier general who declares that Desmond's beliefs are protected by the Constitution. Everything changes. The charges are dropped. And soon after, Desmond and Dorothy are married. War calls. Desmond's unit is deployed to the Pacific, into one of the bloodiest battles of the war, the Battle of Okinawa. Their mission: take the Maeda Escarpment. Known by soldiers as Hacksaw Ridge. A towering cliff. A death trap. The climb is brutal. Gunfire rains down as men fall around him. Chaos. Screams. Smoke. Death. But in the middle of it all, Desmond moves forward. Not with a weapon. With faith. He saves a wounded soldier, Smitty, who once mocked him. In that moment, the doubt disappears. Respect becomes something deeper. As the battle intensifies, Desmond reveals the truth behind his conviction. Years ago, he nearly pulled a gun on his own father to protect his mother. He knows what violence can do. He refuses to become part of it. Then comes the counterattack. The enemy surges forward, overwhelming the Americans. The order is given: retreat. The ridge is lost. But not everyone makes it back. Wounded soldiers are left behind, crying out in pain. Waiting to die. Desmond hears them. And while others descend to safety, he turns around. Alone, he walks back into hell. One by one, he finds the wounded. He lifts them, drags them, carries them to the edge of the cliff. With a rope, he lowers each man down to safety. Again and again. Each time whispering the same prayer: just one more. The night stretches on. Bodies pile up. His strength fades, but he refuses to stop. 75 men. Saved. By one man who refused to carry a weapon. At dawn, the survivors below stare in disbelief. Desmond emerges from the battlefield like a ghost. A miracle. Even Captain Glover, once his harshest critic, stands humbled. He apologizes. Admits he was wrong. The next assault is planned for Saturday. But no one moves without Desmond. So they wait. While, in the quiet before battle, Desmond kneels and prays. The final attack begins. This time, they push forward with everything they have. The tide turns. But the enemy has one last trick, soldiers pretending to surrender, only to attack again. Grenades fly. Without hesitation, Desmond kicks them away, saving lives once more. Then, an explosion. He is hit. Wounded. Bleeding. But alive. As the battle ends in victory, Desmond is lowered from the cliff he conquered, not as a soldier, but as something greater. A healer. Clutching the Bible Dorothy gave him. He finally rests. The story doesn't end on the battlefield. Desmond Doss stands before President Harry S. Truman, receiving the Medal of Honor, the highest recognition for bravery. Not for taking lives, but for saving them. 75 men. One belief. And a courage that proved. Sometimes the strongest soldier is the one who refuses to fight.